Let me be crystal clear. Crime in DC is ending and ending today.
Yeah, this is silly. It's just as silly as that leftist you knew in college who said, you know what, we could have a perfect society where everyone's fed, there's no hunger, there's no poverty or anything if it just wasn't for those capitalists. It's just as silly. There is no, especially as a Christian, there is no way to have a world without crime where Christ hasn't, returned and is seated on the throne. New heavens, new earth. There will be no crime. There will be no crime in DC or anywhere else. But until then, there's going to be crime. And us humans, we have to live within that messy reality. And we can do what we can to attempt to lessen crime. But the idea that we can remove it altogether, that's just kind of silly. And my concern is that having this kind of hubris, this idea that we can eliminate crime altogether, leads to people saying things like this.
I think that you've seen just in the last 24 hours a huge decline in crime, and we're going to support this. We're going to support doing this in other cities if it works out in Washington, D.C. And again, it's unfortunate, but we spend a lot on our military. Our military has been in many countries around the world for the past 2 decades, walking the streets, trying to reduce crime in other countries. We need to focus on the big cities in America now, and that's what the president's doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no, I don't want to live in a society surveilled by the state. I don't want to live in a police state where there are military in every major city in the U.S. That's simply not the kind of society that I, as an American who values freedom and values not living in communist China, want to live in. Okay? I feel like Americans have been indoctrinated that authoritarianism is strictly communist, but no, it can very easily be communist or fascist, and I would like to reject both, and I hope that we as Americans can too. So to the idea of living in a police state, I say no thank you.